Yo, what's the deal, man? It's your player partner, as you know, Bobby WJ. And today I got something to say, man. We're gonna be addressing some very interesting and thought provoking topics and this content that I have elected to do before work. I'm not gonna go no longer than 30 or 40 minutes and whatnot, so we can just, brush up on a few things. And what I want to segue into, what I want to start and lead with is my perception and my viewpoints upon prevention workers coming up out of the Los Angeles area. It's been a lot of backlash, it's been a lot of scrutiny from government agencies as well as everyday civilians, as well as gang members who are out here righteously fighting to change the dynamics of what's going on in our community, especially as it pertains to black on black crime. These YNs out here hitting each other with these switches. The whole gangbang culture and how we can move that same culture or subculture forward as a people to where these youngsters can start doing what our grandparents was doing, purchasing houses, purchasing land, starting careers, getting into these spaces to where they can start learning trades. See, the thing about Donald Trump, and a lot of people, there are avid haters of Donald Trump because of the negative publicity that has been circulated and created by the Democratic political party. Donald Trump increasing these tariffs, imposing these tariffs, and saying we need to bring American jobs back to America. Back in the 1940s, 1950s, and the 1960s, coming out to the West Coast was a lucrative move. It was a promising move. My family as well migrated from the South to the West Coast because of housing. They was creating these projects to where you were getting subsidized housing and you only pay a fraction of what it costs to purchase a house or to pay rent. You pay a fraction of that. Some of these things were created by the Democrats to hinder your natural progression as a people collectively. A lot of our grandparents, mine included, both sides, got into these government public housing projects and they became content. They became comfortable. They no longer had the aspirations to get out there, earn a decent wage to acquire property that has a deed with their name on it. So that's a generation that's not passed down any type of property, any type of things that can be used by the next generation to create generational wealth to keep the family afloat. We got in these housing projects and we became content. We became comfortable with living in the projects. That's why now you got two, three, four, five generations of individuals in a housing projects. The housing projects wasn't designed for us to go there and live there for generations. But getting back to what I'm saying, let me drive my point home. My family came out west in hopes of a better living. Within X amount of time of them being here, the United States government decided to take away those factory jobs. That's why coming up as a kid, there was a factory or a warehouse, but a factory is what we used to call it, in between 112th and Santa Ana. There was factories all over there by the Nickersons, by the railroad tracks. There was even a factory basically in the middle of the Jordan Down housing projects. But when the black population began to come out there and get those good factory jobs, within an X amount of time of them being there, they sent the jobs overseas. So now you just created poverty type conditions. Because let's just say 10,000 people lost their jobs. Now 10,000 people are in a negative. Now 10,000 people are in a deficit. Now 10,000 people can't provide for their family. So let's bring in this heroin. Let's bring in that big H. Let's bring in that dog food. So a lot of people who are eager to take care of their family, they're going to resort to illicit means of providing for their family. Now we got a drug trade. Now we got a drug problem in the community. What about those mothers and fathers that was dealing with depression, anxiety about not being able to provide? A lot of them turned to the bottle and a lot of them shot up in that vein. This is just the actuality reality. Now, Donald Trump is saying we need to bring these jobs back to America. That benefits us. But I rest my case in regards to that. We're overdue for change. We need change in these communities that we come from, these destitute communities. And the reason why a lot of us is continually finding ourselves in these heated exchanges with one another is because we broke. We're broke. The education system is failing. They're not paying the teachers the wages that they deserve to deal with some of these, for lack of better words, and I don't mean anything disrespectful towards my people, and I'm addressing and talking about myself when I say this, to deal with these ecstasy babies, to deal with these crack babies, to deal with these babies that's coming out of these destitute communities that's born into trauma, born into hardships, misunderstood. The lowest form of communication is violence. So these kids are more inclined towards violence because they don't know how to communicate. That's what we're dealing with now. So the individuals who are in a position of relevance, position of influence, and a position of power, they sell their influence, their reputation, their power, their connection to the people to the highest bidder. So now those who are put in position or are chosen to be in a position to represent the people is now being a major disservice to all of our people, because now they have sold their soul and their positions and their voice and their integrity for the almighty dollar. So now these babies is underrepresented, undereducated, have no guidance, no strong male presence in their lives to say, hey, listen, you got to stop this. We got to break this cycle. And the way we're going to break this cycle is like so on and so forth. We know that a lot of women in our communities, and this is the truth, is DICK crazy. I done seen women go above and beyond to stop a dude from cheating, but doesn't display that same level of commitment and energy to stop their kids from joining street gangs. Some of these females, some of these women are getting most of the dudes in the community anyway. So some of these reputable cats that you giving your cat to, you can't go to this cat and say, hey man, I don't want my son being from the hood. Can you assist me in that? And I know at some point in time we all do what we choose to do, but sometimes we got to use what we have in order to get what we need. You fight hard to keep a dude from putting his DICK into somebody else, but you don't fight hard for the lives of your babies. It's asinine. It's crazy. It's frivolous. And at sometimes, and there are times that I don't understand what is going on. Now let's fast forward current right now. As many of you know, and I'm very vocal about it, I reside in the city of Las Vegas. I'm not in Watts right now. My son is in Watts. I fight, I push for peace for the sake of my son and y'all children, because I know what the dynamics is right now. I know a lot of these dudes are not mentally or not physically cut out to be gangsters. We've been gangsters for too long. Now we need to start producing businessmen. But in the grand scheme of things, man, if you from Washington, you know what the last 2 weeks have been. It's been tumultuous. There's been certain conflicts that have been left to brew, and these guys who are getting checks from the government under intervention and prevention, they neglect to do their jobs properly. And we've seen to what detriment this can be in the year 2013 or the year 2014, when a close friend of mine was unalive because intervention and prevention workers neglected to do rumor control. Earlier that day, some dudes from another housing projects got into it amongst themselves. There was some shots licked off. A dude was allegedly grazed, and this dude in his court documents was said, oh, I'm going to get my get back. I'm going to get my revenge, this, that, and third. I don't know who did it, but this is what it's going to be. Allegedly, this dude and some peers of his, some accomplices of his, would get into a van, send his scout car, go through another housing projects, the back streets, the block, and hit a influential and reputable member of Watts, who just so happened to be a rapper under death row back in the days. They hit him because they don't know what's going on, because individuals didn't do rumor control. Had they did rumor control, then each housing projects would have been at high alert to watch out for this and watch out for that. Make a long story short, these same individuals thirsty for blood, goes into another housing projects and unalive a dude walking across the street. They hit him up. Wooty woo woo. They talking shit. The dude fans him on. My loved one, fan him on. Get the fuck up out of here with that weirdo shit. Niggas out there trying to get some money. These dudes jump out of the van and unalive somebody that I love dearly. That could have been prevented. That situation did not have to play out the way that it played out had these guys that we are appointing as representatives over the people did their job the way that they're trained to do their job to de-escalate these type of situations, but they allow it to carry out. See, it's a cold game that we facing. Even the situation that transpired yesterday. If we reputables on our set, cuz, and we'd all have been to prison, and when we in prison, it's the hub and dub, and we communicate and we mitigate and we mediate in there. Why don't those same rules, regulations, and protocol apply out here, cuz? Why do we gotta wait till we get the word? Or I heard you heard what happened? No, cuz, what happened? Oh, they just hit the little homie. Or the homie just lost his son. Or a cat just came through. Or individuals calling like, hey, what's up, man? What's up with y'all little homies? What you mean, what's up with my little homies? Me and your little homies just came over here and whoopie whoop and blase and all this and all that. Why we gotta wait until the act went down for us to become proactive? See, when we talk about intervention and prevention is education. Why ain't we educating these kids? That's what prevention is. To prevent you from getting cancer, diabetes, HIV, AIDS, herpes, and anything like that, I'm gonna give you the information. If you don't wear a condom, if you don't change your eating habits, you're gonna acquire these ailments. That's prevention. Prevention is education, cuz. Now let's talk about intervention. Intervention is treatment. It's when we intervene and say, is anything that we can salvage? Is there anything that we can make alterations to in order to prolong the life or to assist this person with recovery? That's what intervention is. See, a lot of people is focusing more on the intervention than the prevention. If you prevent it, you don't have to intervene. You don't have to give treatment. You don't have to get out here and do the things that we're accustomed to doing after the fact if we become proactive instead of reactive. And that's all I'm saying. See, a lot of us have relationships with those dudes over there, cuz. So instead of allowing these youngsters to crash out and say, oh, they misguided, they don't listen. They got to be listening to somebody if they replicating this PJ shit, that Gray Street shit, that Bunny Hunter shit, this Crip Paru shit, this blood shit. They got to be listening, observing, and watching somebody. It has to be somebody amongst our ranks, cuz, that have a little understanding, rapport, and respect from these youngsters, cuz. So let's not make it seem like these youngsters are just solely rolling around independently with like a chicken with his head cut off, cuz. Because if they were, then they'll be creating their own identities independent of the set. They wouldn't still be pushing PJ Bunny on the Great Street, Crip Blood, so on and so forth. They say, man, the old ways, man, them old niggas. They don't know what they talking about, man. We gonna do our own thing, and this is how we gonna do it. We know what the problem is, cuz. Now, how do we resolve the problem? Why aren't these intervention and preventionists doing their job to mitigate this from blowing over to a full-fledged war and individuals losing their babies to the court system, a corrupt, wicked and court system? Like my partner Papa was just giving individuals game on, if you use a weapon in commission of a crime, it's 10, 25, and life. That's the enhancement that come with it. So you got the crime, you got the time that the crime bring, but don't forget about these enhancements. Off enhancements, you can get 80 years, 60 years, 40 years off enhancements. This ain't even including the crime. So when they come and say, listen, well, we got a deal for you for 30 years. 30 years? That's the deal? So what I'm facing, 180 years to life. But if we properly engage in prevention, we can prevent another generation from having to go down for 35 years, like my big cousin, Big Widow, and Big Bull, and a countless amount of other brothers have to go sit down for this duration of time. A large portion, a large chunk of their lives gone. Daughters, sons, not properly represented and guided in the community because that male presence is gone. Now the community has an imbalance. We got to fix this shit, cuz. We got to find a way to resolve this in a fashion to where everybody can be content and comfortable with. In 2018, cuz, I hollered at one of my little homies. Name began with a J. Young, reputable dude from out of the community. I say, hey, cuz, if I can line it up and it be safe and secure, no trickery, no fuck shit, no sucker shit, with those dudes from the other housing projects, with the little homies be willing to get out there and throw them things with him. You say, hell yeah, cuz, we'd rather do that than XYZ to the ABC. I had a dude from out of the Jordans that participates in the intervention and prevention programs or whatnot. I would just call this dude L. I say, hey, L, this is after I hit BW. And BW say, yeah, man, that's a good idea, man. If we can do it and we can be assured that you and your little homies ain't going to be on no backstabbing SHIT. I say, listen, check this out, Kim, folks. That ain't even in my DNA. That ain't my pedigree, cuz. I say, you done been in my projects with me as dudes from another housing projects and rolled through. And I told you if they try anything on me on PJ Watch Crip, on Stevie Walla Bean, on Mike, I'm riding with you like you one of my homies, because we're not going to tolerate and we're not going to allow that level of disrespect to come into our projects while some real solid brothers right here. I can't speak for the rest of my homies, cuz, and their relationship with dudes and the things that they turn a blind eye to, but I'm talking about me as a solid individual on PJ Watts, on Stevie Walla Bean. If them dudes circle the block, come back, and they try to press any type of line, homie, I'm riding with you like you one of mine. And that's word is bond on Stevie. But I digress. Maybe we should get the top 15 from over there and the top 15 from over there and structure it to where we can go somewhere and let them get down. Y'all fight it till y'all tired, cuz. Because after this shit is over with. This is a wrap. So y'all get out there, no knives, no guns, and y'all if y'all want to beat the shit out of each other, beat the shit out of each other. Fight until you can't fight no more. I know it's effective. I know it worked. You want to know how I know it works, cuz? Let me tell you why. I had a problem with a dude named Potter from Great Street Watts, brother Brian Ross. Shout out to cuz. I get down with my homie Mike, and this is why you have to be careful on fighting your homies, because we fight and we bicker amongst each other, and when a real enemy or the outside enemy come, shit, we done depleted ourselves. We done tired each other out from fighting with each other. So Potter come to the football game. We playing the Insanes and the 20s. They on the same team playing my homies. Me and Mike might go rounds on PJ Crib. We out there squabbling like grown men. I fuck up my finger, so I couldn't fight. I was out of commission on PJ Crib. The Great Streets and the homies had a cool relationship because they was all going to Jordan. So the nigga say, man, I want to fight him right there. Him? I say, man, on PJ, I fight him, but my hand fucked up. Shit, y'all niggas know, y'all done seen me get out there and go rounds with Mike like on PJ Crip. If my hand wasn't injured, I would have beat the shit out of Potter. On Steve, I would have beat the fuck out of Potter. Now the relationship between the homies and the homies in the Great Streets is becoming challenged. The Great Streets is politicking at their school called Jordan, right? Words is getting back through females, this, that, and third. The Great Street said this, or the PJ said that. A lot of that shit was propaganda. It was made up BS, right? So we start politicking. They start politicking. They catching our homies on the dash, chasing down the dash, trying to beat up the homies on the dash. Some of the homies got their ass beat on the dash. So you know what, buddy? We gonna return the sender. Cats like me, Wedo, Lil Clee, the homie Moy the Boy at this time. Moy the Boy, even Darion, them being a part of certain encounters with them dudes, and we whooping on them dudes. They was whooping on the homies too. Let's not get it tangled, twisted, or fucked up. They was catching the homies, and they was giving it to the homies. But soon as we get word, oh, we on PJ patrol, or what we perceived or believed to be PJ Patrol. Oh, we gonna hit the shopping center. We gonna go on their side. And anything we catching, we fucking up on PJ Crib. We on a blue line going from Long Beach to downtown Long Beach to downtown LA. We're looking for these dudes. We looking on a green line, the shopping center, everything. We jumping on the dash just to jump on the dash. Man, where you from, cuz? Where you from, cuz? Catching it from the black store or right there by the pink store and taking it all the way down to that next stop, cuz. Where you from, my nigga? Where you from? Oh, I'm from bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam. We got niggas opening emergency windows trying to get out from this ass whooping. And in their defense, it ain't just like it was one-sided. They was doing the same thing. It was cracking. Then we hear some of them go to lock. So we going to lock whooping ass. And they was doing the same thing. Now watch this. As all this fighting and all this shit is going down, now dudes is introducing the elements of gunplay. Oh yeah, we about to get cracking on these niggas. Instantaneously, homies like Big Sniper and a few other dudes injected themselves in the middle of these scrimmages and skirmishes with the Gray Streets. Brother Brian Ross from out the Jordan now say he want to fight Ye. Brother Ye from the P's, they say, I want to fight Brother Brian Ross, aka Potter. The big homie Snipe come to the projects to get me on PJ. I'm about to jump in the expedition with him. We about to go over there on PJ Crib. Big D from off 112th Street, cuz coming through the projects. He say, man, I come to tell you, man, that little nigga don't want to fight. He don't want to do no fight. It's this, that, and third. So I'm cool. Cuz turned it down. I've been waiting to get in this. I've been waiting to get in this nigga ass. And I put it on every fiber within my being that when we fight, I'm fucking this nigga up. I'm doing him bad. Cause I ain't like that. When Cuz came to the hood and said he wanted to fight me and I'm out of commission, but my nigga Quan, 60 PJ 60 Quan say, cuz I'll fight him for my little nigga. Oh no, I don't want to fight you. You too big. But these niggas was about the same size on PJ Crib. But that right there, when niggas seen that, yeah, big homies from this side and big homies from that side is about to go get them cats, and niggas gonna start getting down. The homie DK was with me on mic. DK say, man, you know Pig from Bunny Hunters? I want to fight Pig. He said, all right, let me go holler at the Bunny Hunters, you know, and see if we can work that out. Because at this time, the big homies, sniping his crew, his people, had a better relationship with the Gray Streets than they did the Bunny Hunters. The Bunny Hunters had a stronger relationships with the Gray Streets. And the PJ Bunny Hunter relationship was kind of, you know, with some incidents that, you know, certain things was going back and forth, and, you know, they hollered at the homies in certain type of ways, and certain type of ways the homies didn't holler back. If you know, you know. One situation with the homegirl in the car. The homegirl get, you know, if you know, you know. I'm not gonna go into that. But we need to start getting back to that, cuz you young niggas want to crash out and go do life and all this. Like, no, as the big homie, cuz I'm intervening, I'm interjecting myself in the middle of this bullshit ass conflict, and you niggas gonna get down. If you don't want to fight it, you don't want to get down, stop spreading propaganda, stop spreading confusion and conflict, and shut the fuck up. Let these young niggas fight. So if you support that and you with that, cuz, let's create the environment to where these young niggas can get out there and fight until they don't want to fight no more. And if y'all still hate each other after that, all right, 1 week, 2 weeks from now, we gonna meet back here or in another location, destination, and you little niggas gonna do it all over again. Eventually, they're gonna get tired of fighting. A lot of us who've been trooping in these streets and gang banging and all this and all that, in the halls, in the prison, YA and all that, it always was one or two motherfuckers that y'all ain't like each other, but after y'all got down, y'all became cool. In certain situations, creating friendships that last even to this day. It's dudes in juvenile hall who asked I whoop, and in YA who asked that I whoop, and we became real good friends. Oh my. So I know it's effective. But I don't want to spend too much time on this because I got to get to work and all this and all that. You feel me? Got to get 2 braids on my shit and handle what I need to handle and all that, and go, you know, go earn a day's keep. You know, player wages and all this and all that. Like, I'm a working man. But I want to get into this situation, man, that's cooking between Napoleon of the Outlaws and West Coast Cam. You know, they used to rap with Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, you know, West Coast dude. He's a Watts native. I love Brother Cam. But we're gonna get into this content, man. And I want y'all to chime in and let me know what you think, man. You know what I mean? Was Brother Cam wrong? As friends and as people who have a high level of respect for one another, we should be able to say, brother, you know what? In this regard, you was wrong. But let's get into it, cuz this is Sunni versus NOI, Nation of Islam. This is Sunni, which is let me tell you what the Sunni Muslims is about. I think Sunni Muslims may be the descendants of Muhammad, or it's the opposite. You got Shiite Muslims, and then you have Sunni Muslims. Then when you come to America, you have the Nation of Islam. In my opinion, the Nation of Islam is more like a gang who adheres to certain tenets of faith of Islam in the Muslim religion. But Sunni Muslims are the largest branch of Islam, representing approximately 85 to 90% of the global Muslim population. They are known for following the tradition Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad and believe that the rightful leader of the Islamic community should be chosen through consensus, not necessarily by direct lineage from Muhammad. So the Shiite Muslims believe that the leaders is designated and elected through blood relations to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And the Sunni Muslims be like, you know, they feel like we should elect our own leader, and it shouldn't be, you know, just solely upon the blood relations to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So let's get into this content, cuz, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all is familiar with the Nation of Islam, so you don't need me to, you know, give you a description or an introduction into who they are. Without further ado, let's get into this content. How y'all feeling today, man? I pray that the blessings of the Most High is upon, you know, yours and your family, man. Everybody that you consider to be near and dear to you. See, is it right here? It's right here. Forgive me, cuz I had a slight hiccup. But let's get into this content, cuz I feel like Brother Napoleon expressed some pretty valid points in his rebuttal to Brother West Coast Cam. Let's get into it. Here we are.
I'm doing this video as a reply to a video that Cam posted. West Coast Cam, who was a rap artist back in the day, used to rap with Ice Cube. He's a West Coast legend, but he's part of the Nation of Islam. So he did a video that he released yesterday, and he mentioned my name, and he also mentioned things about Islam, Sunni Islam, and why the Nation of Islam is the true Islam and the Sunni Islam isn't. Well, first of all, to clarify what Islam means submission to the will of God. We worship Allah alone. We believe in the last prophet Muhammad, who came over 1400 years ago. We don't believe Allah is a man. We don't believe Allah is reincarnated as a man. These are the teachings of the Nation of Islam. We don't believe that there's a prophet or messenger that came after the Prophet Muhammad. These are also the teachings of the Nation of Islam. And they also try to say, well, Elijah Muhammad never said he was a prophet. He said he's the messenger. And they also try to say that Allah says in the Quran that, oh, Muhammad, you are the last of the prophets. And he didn't say Muhammad was the last of the messengers. But to clarify that, in order to be a messenger, you have to be a prophet. A messenger is a prophet who came with a new message. And going back to one of the things that Cam mentioned, he said that Sunni Muslims basically have blood on their hand for the last 100 years. We've been killing each other, and how the Nation of Islam has been bringing nothing but good to the communities. This is false. As Malcolm X said back in the day, whenever there was time for them to go retaliate against police brutality or against the white man per se, they would not greenlight it. They would always tell them no. He said Elijah Muhammad would never give them permission to fight back against police brutality or to, you know, retribution or revenge of against the white man if they harm black people. He said, but whenever there was time for them to harm a black man, Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam gave them the green light and the permission to do it. My parents were murdered in front of me by members of the Nation of Islam. And we have many, many stories how they harmed the people that they claim that they was defending. So don't say that Sunni Muslims are killing each other and we're false because of that and we have blood on our hand. There's not a nation on earth, unfortunately, where people harm each other. That still doesn't make it right or wrong, or or Nation of Islam has less blood on their hands. Sunni No. Let's go back to shirk, which is the greatest sin that Allah will never forgive if a person die upon that. And that is worse than murder. That is worse than oppression. If you're teaching people that Allah is a man who walked the streets of Detroit and Chicago, who went to the bathroom like me and you, and also that man who's supposed to be reincarnated is in the grave. So you're telling people that your Lord is in the grave. So this is the main difference between the Nation of Islam and the religion of Islam. And he also mentioned I didn't want to debate with him, that I rather type, and that's a coward way. Everybody that knows me knows that the last person that you would call a coward is me. Nothing coward about me. You've been debating for years and nothing come out of it. You might have got 2 conversions in like 10 years, if you got somebody converting to the Nation of Islam, but you guys work on the emotions of the people, because you guys, your whole religion and concept is based on emotions and racism. Islam is against all of that. So I don't want to debate, because we went online, we debated before, nothing came out of it. Nothing came out of it. Alhamdulillah, as I mentioned, I have brothers who wrote books refuting the Nation of Islam, student of the knowledges. If they're willing to get online and debate, they can. But for me, it's a waste of time. May Allah guide us all. Salam wa rahmatullahi wa
That was
barakatuh.
heavy right there on
I'm doing this video
um
as a reply to a video.
I had an ample amount of opportunities to join the Nation of Islam. And I want to send a major shout out to West Coast Cam. I want to send a major shout out to Student Minister Rob from up out of Compton. I love y'all brothers wholeheartedly. I didn't had opportunities, invitations to, cut my hair and join rank. Even though I have the deepest respect and love for a lot of brothers who are part of the Nation of Islam, but I look at the Nation of Islam as being like Crips and Bloods who represent Islam. They may not be as inclined to violence and misunderstanding and confusion as conflict as Crips and Bloods are, but if we were unified and we were structured and we had some tenets of faith, we would function damn near to the same level and the same degree of the Nation of Islam. Malcolm X is a hero of mine. I appreciate that brother's sacrifice. He paid the ultimate sacrifice and gave his life. There was rumors and there was gossip, there was propaganda that the Nation of Islam had had a hand in the unaliving of Malcolm X. Before Malcolm joined the nation isn't what you see today. That revolutionary component, that revolutionary identity that they have came and was inspired by Malcolm's joining of the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam, and Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him as well, they were businessmen. They created businesses and whatnot, and their day-to-day function was similar to that of Christianity's Christian. That's why I highlight what I play upon the Inglewood legend said, NOI ain't no different than Christianity. They wasn't about the advancement of the people. They was about the advancement of their people. Crips and Bloods got into it with the Nation of Islam in the late 80s or the early 90s. They came out and they was coming with these ultimatums and so on and so forth, and cats got into it. A fight broke out, and the Crips and Bloods allegedly sent the Nation of Islam running up out of the Coliseum. What I'm gonna do right now, man, I'm gonna play a video where it can be interpreted that Louis Farrakhan, respects to him, is admitting the hand of the Nation of Islam in the demise of Brother Malcolm. Let's get into this content. When Brother Napoleon says that the Nation of Islam never authorized its followers to go against any white folks, any police, to stand up for the people against police brutality, economic oppression, and all this and all that, but it was always approved for them to attack one another in the same manner as Crips, Bloods, Gangsters, Disciples, Vice Lords, and GDs. They just a little bit more fine-tuned. They just a little bit more structured and disciplined than the Crips, Bloods, GDs, and so on and so forth is. But let's get into this content, cuz. And I want you to drop in the comments in the chat what you think about this, cuz. Let me stop this one right here. Yeah, I really want to hear What y'all got to say about this? Cuz I'm not here to create no animosity between myself and anybody who's a representative of the NOI, the FOI, or anything of that nature. I'm just putting the information out there that Farrakhan, respects to him, has already put out there. Just recycling knowledge and information. Let's get into this. Here we go.
Elijah Muhammad enough that if you attack him, I would kill you. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And I'm not a killer, but neither are you. But if somebody attack what you love, each one of you in here would become a killer instantaneously. Am I lying? Mother, let somebody look like they're attacking your child. Here's a woman who fought a bear because the bear snatched her baby. And she ran the bear down, screaming until the bear dropped her baby. Love casts out fear. We don't give a damn about no white man law when you attack what we love. And frankly, it ain't none of your business. What have you got to say about it? Did you teach Malcolm? Did you make Malcolm? Did you clean up Malcolm? Did you put Malcolm out before the world? Was Malcolm your traitor or was he ours? And if we dealt with him like a nation deals with a traitor, what the hell business is it of yours? You just shut your mouth and stay out of it. Because in the future, we're going to become a nation. And the nation got to be able to deal with traitors and cutthroats and turncoats. The white man deals with his. The Jews deal with theirs. Salman Rushdie wrote a nasty thing about the prophet, and Imam Khomeini put out a death thing on him, and it stands today.
So what's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on that? Did this dude not just admit to having a hand in the demise of Brother Malcolm X, may peace be upon him? See, this is the thing, man, and this is something that the Honorable Malcolm X has taught me, not directly, but just through me reading his book and watching videos upon him. He said they'll have one of us to unalive one of us just to say that one of us did it. But through unsealed documents and through the autopsy report of Brother Malcolm X, peace be upon him, even though they made the Nation of Islam believe that they assassinated this amazing messenger and an amazing man, their guns had blanks in them. The guns that the United States government had gave to them to execute this injustice, horrendous act upon the late great Malcolm X, their guns had blanks in them. All the fatal shots that Malcolm X, peace be upon him, received was from a downward trajectory. So they had a hitman, they had an assassin that was shooting down, hit Malcolm X. But yet you come on here and you take credit for assassinating one of the most beautiful brothers and one of the most powerful and prolific brothers that we done had in the last 100 years. Like Malcolm X has taught me, they will have one of us to unalive one of us just to say that one of us did it. But the system is still guilty of the unaliving. Same thing with Nipsey Hussle. And I'm giving to you in modern time, in today's time, we didn't witness the unaliving of Nipsey Hussle, and they had this dude from 6-0 believing that he did this. Man, it's deeper than that. This is this Babylonian system. Like I was just telling y'all a few days ago, if Pilate found no fault in Jesus, he could, or Yeshua, got to be mindful of the verbiage that we use and in the names that we use, because words have power. But if he found no injustices or no faulting this person, he could have released him, gave him an escort to the city limits and let him go. He said, no, we didn't already turn this people against him. So we don't have to execute him. His people is going to execute him because of what we put down, the conditioning that we put down, the programming that we put down in his people to hate him. They gonna do it. And we constantly see this. It's deep, man. I wanna share something with y'all. In the 1970s, it's believed that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who the Nation of Islam wanted to join ranks. They wanted him to be a part of them because of certain things that could have benefited the Nation of Islam. They had Malcolm X. They had at this time they had well, they didn't have Malcolm X at this time. But they had the likes of Muhammad Ali and a couple other individuals and whatnot. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said, man, I'm Orthodox Muslim. You know, I respect what y'all doing. I can help as best as I can, but this is what I'm into. In 1973, the Hanifi massacre unfolded in a house donated by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They were like my family, like 7 brothers and sisters. Kareem wanted to share peace and harmony with fellow Muslims, but it turned out the worst imaginable way. Since his playing days, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has been known for his strong religious beliefs, which naturally connected him with the fellow Hanafi Muslims. And generous acts, Kareem once purchased and gifted him a home to 7. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar purchased and gifted a home to 7 of them. Peacefully, the house's residents pursued their faith and lives until the tragic day of January 18, 1973, when they were brutally unalived. This unaliving that had took place back then is alleged to be the act of the Nation of Islam. This is what this is alleged. If it's true, I don't know. It can be a smear campaign. It can be propaganda to pit blacks against each other because the enemy is effective in doing that. But this situation is brewing in Watts. This situation is brewing between Brother Napoleon and Brother West Coast Cam. We have to find more effective ways at resolving our conflicts. You know, from a religious standpoint, and as black men, we have to stop focusing on our differences and highlighting our differences to say, oh no, we different, and start focusing on our similarities and allowing our similarities in the commonalities that we have to unify us and bring us together so we can start talking about how we effectively change the dynamics of our community. We've been beefing for too motherfucking long, and it's not cool. It's not cute. And we got to stop tolerating this shit, cuz we got to start moving under one sound, one band. But with that being said, man, I'm about to get ready for work, man. I appreciate y'all macking in on your player upon this 11:53. Y'all still be blessed. I'll read a comment or two. Point Blank says, where it go? Point Blank says the government started the NOI. There's rumors and speculations of that. You know, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I know that one of their leaders was originally a part of the Moorish Temple of America. And it's alleged that the government came and said, listen, man, I could make you a leader of millions of your own, but you can talk about me. You can call me Whitey. You can call me Crackers from the ends of the earth. But you never plot against me. You never conspire against me. You never stand up and resist and go against me, and I'll let you do your thing. I'll make you a leader of your people, but you answer to me. They say that's the position that the government had given to certain people back in those days. I don't want to say names because I don't want these dudes to come after me. And if I knew that my Crip brothers and my Damu partners to stand behind me, then I get on here shit and I put it all on the line. But singularly, I'm not able and capable to stand up to certain religions and certain religious groups and certain fraternities. So it's best for me to just be meticulous with my words. But point blank, you may have a point about that. Self-made says only one who needs to get their history up is you. Your name fits you. Definitely. Hold on. Self-made said only one who needs to get their history up is you. Your name fits you. You're definitely lost out here. Oh, he's not talking to me. He's talking to Left or Lost Coast TV. Let me get one more in. And Timo41 said whether they took credit for it or a hidden unaliver did it, taking credit for the demise of a powerful weapon is diabolical in itself. Brother, that's heavy. That's heavy. So with that, man, I'm about to get up off this thing, man. I want to leave y'all with this. You intervention and prevention workers, man, I pray that the Most High God soften your heart. I pray that the Most High God deters you from being like the American government and putting money over people. And you get out there and you resolve this brewing conflict before somebody lose their baby to either the judicial system or the graveyard. That's my prayers of the day. I want to hear that brothers have effectively worked through this conflict that's plaguing our community. And I pray to the Most High God, man, that the young brothers on all sides is receptive to the teachings and the influence of some of the older individuals who are trying to resolve this conflict that's brewing amongst the ranks of Wash. Y'all stay up, cuz. Y'all be blessed. Man, it's your player partner, Bobby WAJ. And like I always say, Black Power, we all we need, we all we got. And let's live in peace before we have to rest in it, cuz.